So today we're going to be going over 5 signs that you should get rid of a fragrance. I think it's time for you to kind of let that one go. Sell it on eBay, sell it on Facebook Marketplace, give it away to your friends, throw it away. It's time to let it go. As much as you may not want to, yeah, I think it's time. And this is kind of an interesting topic. It's one that you don't really hear too many people talk about because a lot of times fragrance collecting kind of coincides with hoarding, where you get in fragrances for your collection and it seems like whether you like it or not, it just kind of sticks around. And I'm not making fun of anyone or pointing any fingers because I'm guilty of the same thing. There are so many fragrances that I have in my collection that I still have that I just never wear and I don't even like at all. There are some fragrances that I straight up hate, and yet I still own a bottle of it. I know, it's weird. And I feel like this is a pretty common thing, especially with a hobby like this, because a lot of times it is explored through blind buying. You may not know what you're getting yourself into until you get the bottle after you spend, $50, $60, $70, $100 on it. And at that point, you're invested. You have money locked in. So part of you is wanting to really like it. You're opening that box and you're like, please like it, please. And it ends up not working out that way. And there are also some instances where maybe you like the smell of the scent, but there still may be some reasons why you should get rid of it anyway. And that's what we're going to talk about today. Let's jump into it. First one, and this has to be the most obvious one ever, and that is that you never wear it. And this happens with me all the time, as I'm sure it does with you guys as well if you have a relatively decent sized collection where you have a lot to choose from and things can kind of get hidden and lost in the shuffle. If you never wear the thing, it may be time to say goodbye. Look, I'm trying to help you guys out here because I have amassed so many scents that I never wear, that I never use, that have probably an inch of dust on them because they just sit there and essentially kind of slowly meet their demise in the back of my shelf. If you don't wear it, you might as well let someone else enjoy it. Whether you want to gift it or sell it for, half the price that you bought it for 2 years ago, that's going to be up to you. But, if you want to free up some room, that's an option. Just, if you don't wear it, let it go. Second reason why you should get rid of a fragrance is if you don't love it. So, maybe you pick this up and you smell it and you're like, oh, okay, that's pleasant. And that's the extent of it, right? For some people, that may be enough justification to keep it. For others, not so much. And the way I think about it is, a lot of things smell good, right? Laundry detergent, hairspray, beard oil, all of that stuff, yeah, it smells pleasant, depending on what you get, of course. And, you got to think, okay, well, if I'm buying a fragrance which is specifically designed to smell good and that's the sole purpose, shouldn't I really love it in order to justify it and keep it? Hairspray and beard oil and laundry detergent and all that type of stuff, it's designed to, wash your clothes, keep your hair in check, like mine is not. Make sure your beard stays healthy, all that sort of thing. The scent is just kind of an added bonus. The fragrance itself is literally designed to smell good, and that's its one feature. And there are so many other fragrances out there. So in my opinion, for you guys, if you don't love it, you might want to let it go. Again, I have so many fragrances that I don't love, that I'm not crazy about, that I still have. So I am preaching to the choir here, although my situation is a little bit different, being that I do have this channel. I do purchase stuff even if I know I'm not going to like it, just so I can do videos on it. And well, sometimes a video may come up in the future where I want to use it again, and so I just kind of hold on to it. But if you're being practical and you're building a collection and you don't have a channel or anything where you're talking about these things, stick to the stuff you love. That'll make it much easier to find what you want to wear in the morning. It'll make it easier to pack everything up and move someday if you want to move and you don't have to move 800 bottles of cologne, right? Just something to think about. If you don't love it, let it go. And that goes for a lot of things in life too. That's a fact. Third reason why you should get rid of a fragrance is your wife or girlfriend doesn't like it. This is a big one here because I know my girlfriend is a pretty harsh critic. There are some things that I just love. I spray it and my eyes light up and I'm like, oh, that is just amazing. And I'll hand it to her and she acts like it's the most horrible thing she's ever smelled. Now, in this instance, you may want to step back and think, okay, is this going to cause potential fights if I continue to wear this and enjoy this if my wife or girlfriend doesn't like it. That's something you got to think about here. It doesn't really ever get to that point with myself and my girlfriend. A lot of times she does end up growing on things, and she's a harsher critic when she first tries it, and then over time, if I just kind of keep wearing it and keep saying, oh, you're going to like it, she'll come around to it to the point where she can at least tolerate it. But if there's something that you have that your girlfriend or wife just absolutely despises, well, you might want to let it go. Or you can keep it for yourself and wear it when she's not around. That's an option as well. But if you're someone who mostly only wears fragrance when you're going out with your wife or your girlfriend just so you smell good for her, and you wear it when you guys are going out on occasions or whatever, and she doesn't like it, well, it's kind of not doing a whole lot of good sticking around in your collection if you can't wear it with her. So that's just something to keep in mind as well. After your girlfriend or wife has been able to smell a bunch of different things, her nose will develop as well, and she may end up starting to like a lot of the same stuff you do. So just stick with it, and over time, likely she may come around to it. Fourth reason why you should get rid of a fragrance is it doesn't perform that great on you. This is a huge one that I see all the time. My comments are always filled with, oh, what performance do you get on this and this and this? It's all relative. It's all, of course, skin chemistry, which everyone knows at this point, but it's still nice to be able to ask around and see what other people are getting out of it. The fact of the matter is, I may be able to get 8, 9, 10 hours longevity and solid projection out of a fragrance, and someone else may be only able to get 4 or 5 hours of performance out of the exact same scent. It just depends on a number of factors. Everything from your skin, whether you have dry or oily skin, whether you live in a climate which is more dry, more humid, warmer, cooler, right? There's so many things that go into it. Also, even down to how are you applying this scent? Are you applying it to pulse points? Are you just spraying it on your shirt? What are you doing with it? And there are even more things than that. You got to make sure you stay on top of your hygiene as well, and shower regularly and use deodorant and all of that good stuff. All of that helps, and you got to make sure you kind of have all of your ducks in a row before you start questioning performance. You got to think, okay, am I doing everything I can to make sure that this performs good? If you have dry skin, use some moisturizer. Use a base layer of some sort, right? There's things you can do to help improve that performance if you are struggling with it. But if you're telling me, oh, I've tried everything, it still just doesn't perform good on me, well, unfortunately, it just may not be agreeing with your skin chemistry, with your chemical compounds. So in that instance, if performance is that important to you, it might be time to let it go. You got to keep in mind, it may be depressing, it may be sad, you may just want that fragrance to perform so good, so bad, but there are so many other amazing, beautiful beast mode fragrances out there on the market that you can choose from. We're talking thousands, several thousands here. So don't get too discouraged. Keep looking for something, and you'll end up finding something that not only you will love, but your significant other will love, and it'll be a beast on your skin. You just had to keep looking. And the fifth reason why you should get rid of a fragrance is if it's redundant. So this is another big one, and it seems like especially these days where we're having blue fragrances released every other month, and all of these typical style bubblegummy types of scents all being put out all the time. It's easy to start to amass a big collection of these because you see a new release, and maybe it's from a line that you really like Yves Saint Laurent Y or La Nuit de l'Homme line, or something along those lines, these well-regarded lines. And so you see it, you're excited, you get it, and you're like, oh, it's a blue fragrance, it's a bubblegummy fragrance. Crap. And now you're stuck with another one, and by this point you've probably got 6 or 7 of them, and you're like, okay, what do I do here? Redundancy is a big thing, and it's something that honestly can be kind of a waste of money, especially if you're not someone who can justify amassing just a huge amount of bottles like I can. And that's not meant to be a brag. It's actually kind of depressing to see how many I have and how much money has gone into it. So if you have a lot of redundant fragrances, a lot of Aventus clones, even though you have Aventus, a lot of blue fragrances, even though you have Bleu de Chanel and Sauvage as some of the main ones there, it may be time to start thinning some of those out and kind of cutting them back, because you don't really need that many unless you want that many. I'm a big fan of blue fragrances. I like a bit of bubblegum sweetness. So if you are a fan of those fragrances and you like having them, then by no means keep them and enjoy them. But for a lot of people, one of the main questions when they're buying a new scent, they'll be like, hey, should I buy this if I already have this? And a lot of times the answer may be no, because they are very close together. And in that instance, if you have a bunch of that going on, you could start thinning them out. Get yourself some money back in your pocket, thin down the collection, make everyone happier. Well, guys, I think that's going to do it for me. That is 5 reasons why you should potentially get rid of a fragrance. Something that I don't see too many people talk about, but I do think it is important because it is easy to kind of latch on to some of these scents. After you make the investment, after you spend, $100 or a little bit less or even a little bit more on a niche scent, you want to like it, you want to hold on to it. But sometimes you got to know when to say when. And if you're not using it and you got a bunch of dust built up on that bottle, it's time to just let it go and at least recoup some of your money. You can grab some of that money and buy another fragrance that you know you're really going to like and wear. Alright guys, that's going to do it for me. Thank you so much for watching. Stay safe, stay healthy. We'll see you tomorrow with another one. Take care.